as we approach proxy season, Richard Daly is the founder, CEO, and president of Broadridge, which handles nearly 80% of the world's proxy communications. Rich, good to see you. Thanks so much for joining us.
Morning. One
of the themes right now is investing in technology to promote shareholder engagement. What kind of shareholder engagement are you seeing?
Well, particularly on the retail side, institutional investors have been active participants in the process for decades. Retail represents 30% of the outstanding shares, and that 30% votes at about 30%. So the opportunity is with technology to engage retail participants to participate in the meeting process.
And I love what you said during the commercial break. The fact is when you look at proxy season, you could have how many meetings in a two-day period in May? I mean, like May 18th, how many meetings are going?
Well, that week there'll be over 1,100 meetings.
So if you're doing this by digital, you're doing this digitally online, and you're participating that way, you can participate in a lot of meetings.
That's correct.
Yeah.
So there are really two key trends. One is engaging retail, because retail really does vote with their feet, meaning if they own a company, they're looking for a return. If they don't like the company, they're not going to be an activist. They're going to move on to another company. So those retail investors generally vote with management. So that's an untapped resource for companies to go after. Beyond that, using technology to engage them, whether it be mobile voting, electronic voting, and the latest trend is a virtual annual meeting. HP, just a week or so ago, had a virtual-only annual meeting where you could participate in that meeting, as you were saying, from anywhere in the world, in your pajamas, if you'd like.
I love that. So what are you seeing in terms of the priorities on the part of institutions and retail investors right now? What are they voting for and against?
Okay, so institutional investors have a far clearer agenda, all right? And at Broadridge, we are the honest broker. So we really aren't concerned who's going to win, who's going to lose, just as long as it happens accurately and efficiently. With retail, though, specifically, they're looking for returns. And the data is very clear. Remember, we have every record on every participant going back over a decade on how they vote in every meeting. And retail generally votes with management in the companies they own. And it's that retail that we're looking to see engage with technology. I'll give you a couple of good examples.
Yeah.
So beyond engaging them by enabling them to participate in meetings easily, because your typical investor isn't going to travel to an annual meeting, but they could log in online and with an encrypted password not only vote, change their vote, ask a question.
And ask questions, yeah.
And fully participate.
Isn't that great?
In the case of Broadridge, we went from, before having a virtual meeting, 3 shareholders participate, to having well over 150 participate in our first virtual annual meeting. So engaging them is the key, but getting them to participate with technology, all right? So one, you can send them an email. For those where we have an email account, now remember, we've eliminated over 50% of the paper. So by engaging them with email, okay, with a note from the CEO, we've seen within 48 hours, 50% of the unvoted participate when asked to vote via email.
I like it.
Okay?
I like it.
So we're all living our lives through our mobile devices.
Right. Why not annual meetings?
Why not shareholders?
Why not shareholder meetings? So if you were to see weakness in retail, weakness in institutional stock trading volume, that impacts your growth. Where does growth come from at Broadridge, given what you're going to say?
Trading volumes at Broadridge in our processing business are meaningful. In our communications business, particularly in the proxy piece of the communications business, it's the number of underlying shareholders. So what we found, and I've been doing this now for well over 3 decades, every year, with the exception of 2 years post the financial crisis, the number of participants, or what I call positions, has risen. It went down 1% and 2% for the 2 years after the financial crisis, but on average, it grows a couple of points a year. Because remember, with all the trading volume, somebody's getting in, someone's getting out, and it's just the net positions rising, generally because people diversify.
Really fascinating stuff. It seems so obvious to be able to be wanting to do this digitally. Richard, good to have you on the show today.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Richard Daly will be watching. He is the CEO of Broadridge.